Just under 3 million people are being moved by the airlines per day now through January 5th.
Exactly. So the number that we've got from Airlines for America says that about 2.9 million people will travel average during the Christmas rush until sort of the first week of January. And the busiest days of travel would have been yesterday and the 28th. And that's when people sort of go on holiday and come back. And so that's why those are the busiest days. And we will see some days when there isn't that much travel. Tomorrow and day after should be the days with the least amount of travel. So hopefully things go well for me.
Yeah, because everyone wants to be home already by Christmas. And New York and New Jersey airports are expecting a record 5.7 million travelers from December 22 to January 4. Are those two the busiest airports?
In terms of international travel, yes, those tend to be the busiest. In terms of domestic airport, we have Atlanta, we've got other airports, Dallas, Fort Worth. And so there are many airports in the US that are seeing a massive sort of surge in demand. We're seeing people across the country looking to fly. And that's also been because this year has been sort of all about various ebbs and flows for the airline industry. And so people are sort of now getting out there and getting on planes, going to see family, going to go on vacation, and sort of just buckling down on paying those prices, if at all.
I'm wondering if you have any insight into whether or not things are going to improve when it comes to the air traffic controllers, because we've seen, I mean, not only is it an inconvenience, it's a safety issue. Is there reason to believe that's going to change in the new year?
The air traffic controller system has been sort of under fire for a while. I mean, not just during the shutdown, but even before it, when we had those sort of shortages that Newark Airport had, and those sort of massive issues.
It was very close calls.
Exactly.
Right.
And so we've seen it from this sort of the middle of the year. The government has been talking about increasing funding for air traffic controllers, and the government has said that they've hired more recruits and trainees into the academy. They're also sort of getting those recruits across the line and into air traffic control stations, but it takes a long time. It takes them years to actually be able to be fully independent and actually be managing traffic. And so it's not really a sort of quick fix solution for anything. It has to be a very long process to actually hire those controllers, train them up, and make sure that they're fully capable of handling traffic into and out of those airports.
I know there must be many reasons, a myriad, but why did we even see shortages to begin with? I just feel like it's a cool job. It must be a well-paying job. It's like you're serving the country.
It's a very stressful job. So it's a well-paid job, but it's very, very stressful. I mean, one of the controllers we talked to previously for a story said that it's sort of, you have to have the ability to think in 3 dimensions. So essentially, you've got planes. Yeah, exactly. And so you're making quick decisions. You're communicating with multiple aircraft at multiple times. So you got to be able to work really fast, think in 3 dimensions, because you're not just dealing with things sort of vertically and horizontally, but you're also stacking things up and so that makes things much more complicated. And so it's a very complicated job, and it's not really for everybody, and many people crack under the stress of the job. So of the recruits that get into the academy, very few actually make it out into the field, because it's just a very demanding job.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that the people you put out there on the field are super qualified, because lives are at the risk.
And being able to do those jobs day in, day out, and not just sort of, it's not a one-off thing. You got to do it. You got to be doing it multiple days, multiple times.
And it takes a special person to be able to do that.
Exactly.
Yes. Is this a U.S. specific thing? I'm wondering if other parts of the world also see it.
It is an issue across the world. I mean, because you obviously need, as generations of air traffic controllers retire, you need to make sure there's a pipeline of new controllers taking those jobs. And so it is an issue. I mean, it came up in the US much harder because, I mean, of various reasons that sort of led to a lot of controllers retiring, as well as the fact that there wasn't sufficient recruitment years ago. And so that sort of coincided to create the shortage. But the government has talked about both modernizing the air traffic control system, because, I mean, at the same time as the shortage of controllers, there's also very antiquated equipment in those air traffic controller systems.
Yeah,
and so that's something as well that they need to sort of tackle at the same time. So Congress has given Sean Duffy, the Transportation Secretary, the first tranche of that funding that he's seeking in order to modernize the airspace. And there are sort of upgrades in terms of upgrading from copper wire to fiber, and sort of increasing new systems, especially since some of the systems that they previously had are sort of long out of date and need to be replaced.
I was going to say, AI still can't take it.
AI,
jobs.
Please do not hand that over to AI. Not if I'm in the plane. Thank you very
Exactly.
much. I do want to zoom out for a minute and just look at the industry overall next year. I'm imagining consolidation is still going to be a theme. If I read this right, Spirit and Frontier talking again about a possible merger. I think that's the fourth time. We'll see if the fourth time's a charm. But do you think we're going to see more consolidation, and will it be in the discount carrier space?
So the discount carriers have been struggling. So Delta and United sort of made their strategy in targeting premium travelers coming out of the pandemic, and they've done really well on that strategy. So a lot of people had money to spend, and they were willing to pay more for a better travel experience. The low-cost carriers at the bottom end of the market have also seen their customers really affected because, we keep talking about the K-shaped recovery in the economy, and so the customers at the bottom end are the ones sort of holding off on travel decisions, holding off on going on those extra holidays. And that's where the low-cost carriers play in, and that's where they've sort of seen a hit to their books and balance sheets. So Spirit's in its second bankruptcy, in its second Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And so in order for it to survive, it is looking at possibilities, and we reported that they are in discussions with Frontier, and that will sort of give them more scale and be able to better compete against the other airlines.